Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast 2023 in the studio. My name is Paul Piper. This is PRP Productions, and welcome again. A lot of the reasons why I do these podcasts is I want to raise awareness of the local music community as well as national and worldwide music community. We have guests such as drummers, guitarists, computer geeks, a lot of cool things going on here, and you're in for a treat today. I have drummer extraordinaire Peppe Merolla out of Las Vegas. He's going to share with you some cool things here, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and unmute you, Peppe, and I'll go ahead and do, here we go. So can you hear me okay, Peppe?
Hello, Paul. I hear you fine. How are you? Hello, everyone. Peppe Merolla here. Thanks for having me. I follow you on Facebook, and I really love what you do. I love your ideas, and it's wonderful. Let's keep that going. The community needs that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, it's just what I love is how drummers can just kind of feed off of each other, as well as any instrumentalists, guitar players, keyboard players, actors, actresses.
Definitely. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and we all learn from each other. And a lot of people have asked me, well, do you think you're better than that person, or do you think that person's better than that person? And I says, no, we're all different. I don't believe in any competition. We do what we love to do, and I always focus in telling my students, don't worry about the next person, focus on yourself and where you want to be. And I'm sure that's how you do it with your students as well.
Yes, and again, we all learn from each other. And guess what? I'm going to open parentheses, close it right away. I learn from my younger students all the time.
Me too.
So join the club. That's what music is about. Music is about sharing. It's about, giving. Sometimes you don't receive, but it's okay. As long as you give, that makes you a special musician, special person.
Absolutely. And like when I teach, again, like somehow some things I actually learn while I teach, and that's just it's a blessing to be able to have that in our career, especially when we're sharing our talents.
Yes. One of the things that my teacher used to tell me is like, after I did 2 or 3 years, every week for 4 or 5 years. Every week, my mother used to pay every month, for the lessons. And
right.
But, because I gotta say this, because to me this is important. Especially nowadays, a lot of young students, they think they can come in, or maybe they see what you do or what I do, so they call me for lessons. They say, I would like to take a couple lessons from you, or anyone else, Guys, let me tell you one thing. It's not going to take you 2 hours to get what I've been practicing or learning for the past 47 years. I believe that learning, if somebody is really dedicated, if you love what you do, pick a great teacher and don't call him for 1 hour lesson. If you know exactly who he is and what he can do, and if you like what he does, and if you really know about what's happening and what being a great drummer means, and you know that teacher is the right person for you, at least take 6-7 months to start with and see how it feels, because it doesn't happen overnight. I can share with you anything right now, but it doesn't mean that you guys are going to get it right away. Except if you are someone with years and years of experience, with great drum technique, and then you understand what I'm doing. But if you are just like a person who loves to play drums and loves to learn, pick your teacher. Can be anyone, but pick the right one and stick with him at least for 5-6 months to a year to see what happens, because it takes time for the result to show up.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's very cool concept, because a lot of us now. I did gather a few questions from the field that I've shared some of your videos with, and a lot of people are asking me. Well, let me just go through some of the questions. First of all, how long have you been playing, Peppe?
all my life. I was 5 years old when I started to play with my family. My family, they're both still alive. Now they're retired, but they are professional singers in Italy. And we were touring all over Europe and South America, United States. You know, we used to do a lot of shows for a lot of Italians from all over the world. And it happened, you know, the story, how I started, you know, to play with them is because the original drummer of the band got stranded in north of Italy, in Turin. And he missed a flight. We were already in Sicily, which is south. So now what happened, my father was really upset. You know, we had the theater was packed, all sold out. And, you know, there was the pit, you know, where the orchestra goes underneath the stage, you know, the pit, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And, you know, the bass player says, Mr. Merolla, to my father, Luigi, you should have Peppe play the drums because he knows the repertoire. He's always at the rehearsal, and the drummer always have him playing the drums. You know, my father says, man, are you kidding me? I got 2,000 people in the theater tonight for two shows. I mean, I'm not going to have, because like this was Luigi, have your son play the drums. If your son is not capable to play, I'll fire myself tomorrow. I'll fire myself. You know. So anyway, to make a long story short, my father said, "Okay, just keep an eye on him. If he's going to do something wrong, stop him." You know, it was like, "Don't worry, he knows the show." Since that night, the original drummer of the band, never came back, and I became the drummer of the band. So that's what happened. Yep. I was 5 years old when I started playing the drums, and here I am.
Yeah, I think I was, 6 or 7. It's kind of a cool story. My old drum teacher from North Texas University, Henry Oxtel, started me when I was really young. He and my parents were in a business together, so he'd always come to the house, and I had this humongous Pearl export kit, double bass, everything. And this is a funny story. He said, you know, one day, Paul, you're not going to be carrying all of these in your car to gigs. You're going to want to minimize and be easy. Well, about 12, 13 years later, or maybe longer than that, I'm opening up a Whole Foods market with a jazz trio. And who walks in the front door other than Henry Oxtel? And I had a kick, a snare, ride cymbal, and a hat. No toms, nothing. And he came in, he kind of gave me this look. He kind of went, and I knew exactly what he meant. So,
yeah, you can swing.
Well, let me ask you this. This is another question. How would you describe your experience when you first started learning the basics of your instrument? I mean, as far as rudimentally, or did you listen to records?
Painfully. Yes. And, you know, me that I started playing the drums, because, you know, we start playing the drums and speak this language by hitting things and feel the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Then my teacher said, when I started it, he said, well, I don't want you to play at least, you know, for a year. Don't play the drums.
Right.
Just get the snare drum, separate the snare drum from the whole kit, and speak loud on the snare drum. You know, and get things done. You know, you have to put the effort, the sacrifice. Although, of course, I lied to him. I was still playing, you know, but most of my first year and a half, 2 years, and I spent so much time on the snare drum, you know, that when I play the drum set, I would burn it. I feel like, man, that's like, you know, it's like breathing for me now. Right. I was breathing it. But, you know, on the 2 years, I did snare drum work, all the rudiments, and even like little things, like even like a very, you know, a double stroke roll or whatever it is. I was picking one thing at a time without, you know, trying to hurry up and say, okay, this has to happen now.
Yeah.
No, for me it was like, you know what, here it is. Let me work on one thing at a time. Let me work on details. And then move on. So another thing that I see in young students and man, I gotta tell you, even people like graduating from universities,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they call them like, people with master's degree, in music, in drum, jazz drumming. They come in, they don't even know, a double flam reverted paradiddle or a 5-stroke roll play correctly. And I feel like, what is it? That's another story. That goes deeper.
Yeah.
To me, I believe that universities, they should have a class for drummers where they're going to go in and shed and work on a snare drum and technical availabilities in order for them to express themselves musically when they get on the instrument. If your hands won't work, man, you're not going to play the drums. That's one thing for sure. You'll be always limited. But the more you know, the more you say. It's like writing a poem. How can you become a great writer if you don't know the grammar and you have no creativity in your mind, that you don't feed your creativity by learning the language of this instrument? In this case, is drums. I don't believe in stuff like that. See, that's another thing. It goes deeper. That's why I feel like I was very lucky that my teacher, they really squeezed me like a lemon until the last drop. Then I realized that after years, thanks to them, I was able to come up with new ideas. Thanks to them, I was able to learn how to practice, because that's another thing about being a great teacher. To me, being a great teacher means teach your students how to practice. That's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just explaining a paradiddle or double paradiddle. To me, it's like teach your students how to be independent. And then God, of course, God gives you the gift that you get certain things, you got it right away because God gives you a gift. But again, if God gives you the gift and you don't speak blood on your instrument, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, that's true.
And talent.
Yeah, and I'm sure you recommend your students' practice times to be about an hour or more. Is that?
I don't know.
Would that be average?
To me, practice time, we practice also when we walk, when we eat.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so how much time you really have? I don't know. Bring your pads with you everywhere.
Yep.
You got to feel the wood, the touching the wood.
Right.
When it gets warm in your hands, you got to get that stuff right away. You got to be able to sit down and feel like this is normal to you.
Right.
If it has to become something that's what you do for a living. That's how you live. That's how you eat. That's how you make love. That's anything.
Right.
This is part of you.
Yep. Absolutely
I don't
correct.
know. Sometimes I practice an hour. Sometimes I practice 5 hours. Sometimes I don't practice at all.
It just depends on the mood you're in and of course what's going on in your schedule.
But in my mind. But I swear to you, in my mind is 24/7, always there, always there.
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
There.
Well, that's
and the feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Practice time is very important. Schedule willing, of course. I try to find time to practice when I can, and when I'm out on the road, I do bring my pad with me, whether I'm in a hotel room or on the bus or whatever the case may be. Especially if I'm warming up, stuff like that. Let me ask you, Peppe, who are your main drum influences, as you were learning, as you were growing up? Who did you listen to the most?
Everyone. But in particularly, there's many, as you know.
Yeah.
My first love was Buddy Rich.
Me too.
This was my first love because I was always amazed of his technical abilities. I haven't seen anyone, even nowadays, to those hands. Buddy Rich's hands are very hard to find. We can apply different technique, Mahler technique, push and pull, all that stuff. But there is some stuff about Buddy that still, when I hear it, I feel like, man, to get that same sound, like see, for example, that's why I said, okay, that's a long. I'm gonna make it short, okay? So that is a Love for Sale version of Buddy Rich.
Right.
Love for Sale. And then after the brass station come in, that's all singles rock roll.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like, whoa, wait a minute, that's
Right.
like all singles rock rolls.
It's like
Now,
like fast, you know. I mean, he was always fast.
fast with all those accents, with all the accents.
Oh, I know.
All 16 notes.
Right.
that famous feel. I bet my life I'll live forever. No many people can play it at that tempo, you know, and using the power, you know, that he's playing that feel. That feel is it's a tough cookie.
Right. It is.
You know,
It's.
I love Buddy Rich playing in the big band. Louis Bellson.
Oh yeah.
There's another guy that I made afterwards, which was Buddy Rich phone call, because this man can read anything, and his technique is so fantastic, and he's a great drummer. He passed away, rest in peace, Mr. Dave Black, which was the original drummer for the first drummer for Duke Ellington before Louis Bellson, and he was the first guy who played the double bass drum before Louis. His name was Dave Black. You can check him out on YouTube.
Okay.
This guy, it's like, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Until 81, 84, I think it was 84 when he passed away. We met in Oakland, in California. We were very good friends. I used to live in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Then I moved to New York for 12 years, and then I came here to Vegas 2 years ago. But Dave Black was the very first man I met, along with Louis Bellson. Louis Bellson used to live in San Jose, California.
Okay.
And Louis was a great person. He actually, I did a clinic with him, 2 drums. When Facebook was not around, iPhone were not around. Otherwise, I would be famous by now.
Right.
No. But I met those people. I was so lucky and to talk to them, because the only way to really learn and really move to the next level, like getting an understanding of what this is all about. For my genre, I love jazz music. I love pop music. I play all different style, but I wanted to focus for a minute, on being a jazz drummer. And that's what I did. And that's what I do.
Awesome.
And I was very lucky that Louis Bellson, I've met him, talked to him, played with him, sharing stories. Same thing with Joe Morello. Joe Morello, we were dear friends. He almost passed away in my car.
Oh my goodness.
Because that's another story, but I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky. So Louis Bellson, Dave Black, Buddy Rich, and then one day after those people, I was getting more like, growing up and getting more into it. Then I find out, the great Charlie Parker. After Charlie Parker, Lester Young, Ben Webster, and all those people, those are not drummers, but I love that music. So I wanted to find out who's the drummer. Then I found out Art Blakey, L.B. Jones, Art Taylor, Louis Yates, and on and on.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on. The young drummers nowadays. When I say young, I mean like more modern drummer. I like them all. I like them all. I don't tune anything down. Anything that is music, I try to get the best, even for somebody that I don't like it that much. But I try to find something to say, okay, let me see why I don't like him. So I try to get something from that and make it better for me. Make it work somehow, because it's hard to say certain things and hurt other people's feeling is not a good thing. Because if that guy is playing the drums or anyone that's playing the drums, they're doing it with their heart. They love it. So, it might be painful. It maybe hurts, somebody saying, I don't like you, you're not that good, or I'm not attracted. So I love everyone. I just wish them all the best. But my favorite drummers, I told you who they are. Louis Bellson, Buddy Rich, Art Blakey, Elvin Jones, Art Taylor, many of this generation. And and younger. And after that too. Steve Gadd is another one.
Steve Gadd is actually my favorite. Yeah, one of my favorites, top favorites.
If you talk to Steve Gadd, see, that's the thing. Steve Gadd loves Jimmy Cobb. Steve Gadd loves, Elvin Jones.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I made him Steve Gadd, and I had the pleasure to meet him and follow him, closely in a way, because, believe it or not, he's one of my favorites. Between all those great drummers like Waco, another one is Vinny Colaiuta. I love Vinny Colaiuta.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many.
A lot of great.
Steve Gadd is the one who really turned me on in a way that, Steve plays the music. And even when he plays jazz music, I don't know if you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with his jazz playing, even though he loves Jimmy Cobb and he loves Louis Ace and he knows and he loves Blackie, he doesn't even touch them.
Right.
He listens to them. But when he plays, you hear that quarter note on the cymbal. That's Steve Gadd, coming from Jack DeJohnette. See, another thing, I tell my friends, my students, guys, study the history of this music. Before I say, the best drummer in the world is whatever, I would say, go back. When you meet your favorite drummer, ask him one question if you're not able to understand where he comes from. Ask him a question, say, who's your favorite drummer? Then you will know why he's up there and why he's doing what he's doing, where he comes from. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. You make a lot of sense on that. A lot of great drummers out there. Those are a lot of my influences too. But again, I used to listen to Dave Weckl, and I don't know about you, Pepe, but as I was growing up, Neil Peart was one of my big influences. And as I was younger, everything seemed so fast, like the opening to a lot of the YYZ and all of the other songs that they used to do. But as you get older, you get more educated. Now everything makes sense as far as rudimental exercises go. Like what you heard before was 30-second notes at 300 beats per minute. Now you listen again as an educated drummer, it's just triplets. You know what I'm saying? It's like as we were younger and our brains are not where we are today, you hear things that seem so difficult and hard to play, but once you get older, hey, wait a minute, that makes sense now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
no, I understand completely. Speaking of Dave Weckl, I was very influenced when I was 17 by him.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I like him better now than now after 20 years, after 30 years, 35 years. I was blown away when I saw the stuff that he was doing, And now after 35 years, I feel like, wait a minute. I look at what he was doing before and what he's doing now. And I like him better now.
I do too.
Than before.
It's less soloing, more pocket kind of stuff,
More pocket, he has a better sound.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you know this, he used to, and I know that because my friend Carl Tassi was a dear friend of Freddie Gruber.
Oh, yeah.
And, Freddie helped Dave. He gave him some drum lessons because Dave used to hold the sticks right here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you look at the waggle, the way he holds the sticks, he's right here in the middle.
Right.
And he's doing the hop and down. He's doing the,
Yep.
the right motions. He's using the right motions.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really forcing it. He's like taking advantage of the natural rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, before, he was digging in all the time,
Right.
using this. But now he's up here. And he's like, whoa. I like him better now than 30 years ago.
Yeah, me too.
That's a compliment,
Oh, absolutely. and we all grow. We all grow as we get older. We grow with more sensibility. I guess we're more seasoned. But I tell you what, Pepe, if you don't mind, I'd like to play one of your clips real quick because I'm sure a lot of people like to see what you do on the drum set. Basically, that was kind of a Latin beat you were doing, right?
Yeah, that's a samba, just a pattern.
A samba, and
samba.
Because some people were asking me, it's like they're looking forward to seeing the podcast, and they were asking me about some videos that maybe they didn't see before. That's why I wanted to go ahead and include some of these during the podcast. So they can see what you're doing. But what are some of your? Someone else was asking me. You're a very good rudimental drummer. What are some of your favorite rudiments? And also, people were asking me, how do you do those one-handed rolls?
Well, rudiments. My favorite rudiments.
Yeah.
Flam accent. One of my favorite rudiments, really. Paradiddle with all the different, accent displacement. The flam paradiddle with all the flam and displacement. I like to be creative with it, and orchestrate them on a drum set. That's what I like to do with them. But my favorite rudiments, again, double stroke roll, because we use it all the time. Single and paradiddles, double paradiddles, but hey, how many rudiments do we really use?
I mean,
except
right?
If I play a 6-stroke roll, So to me, like, the more you know about the snare drum, the better it is, the more you have to say. So you can be more creative and add different phrases. And it's always good to know, as much as you can. But really, do I have to tell you how many paradiddles, big column applied on a drum set? 3 of them, and he's famous, and he made the history of drums. People say I gotta study all the 50 rudiments. That's beautiful. That will make you a dedicated student. But really, do we have to analyze how many rudiments still get place? 5. Vinicola Iura, yeah, maybe 5. You don't see those people playing like the double, diddle, paradiddle, double flamming. That's like, whoa. We do that for the love and the passion because
Absolutely.
we love to play. Like I see people, and I was one of them, attracted at the beginning, was like, man, push and pull. Okay. So I feel like push and pull technique. Let me see that. This is wonderful. And a lot of people were telling me, and I was thinking, well, with the push and pull technique, once you start doing it, and then you got to play a live gig where you have to really dig in, that push and pull, oh man, you better be a higher man because it's not easy to articulate that push and pull at a certain tempo. And when you play on a bandstand, in front of, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, all that stuff really goes out the window. Except if you play in the jazz club and you play a jazz gig and you're nice and relaxed, Then you can go, stuff like, all that stuff. You're nice and relaxed. You don't have to dig in. So you're cool. That depends what kind of style of music you play. Because one thing I know, and I've been playing some pop and R&B stuff lately here in Las Vegas, and I feel, and I used to be actually before I became a jazz drummer. I got more than 200 records under my belt as a sideman in the studio. So a lot of pop music. So to me, it's like all that stuff is important for us because we love what we do, but you have to also know when to use it and how to use it, and if you can use it.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway.
Oh yeah. It makes a lot of sense. And excuse me. As you know, first of all, and you're a multi-instrument. You're a multi-instrumentalist. You play trumpet and you play keyboards, right?
I play keyboard, which I'm self-taught, by the way.
Okay.
Self-taught on keyboard. Yeah. I graduated as a classical trumpet player. And I played classical music for 3 years of my life at San Carlo Theater, one of the oldest symphonic theater in the world. And anyway.
Yeah.
Then I said, man, I'm a drummer. I want to play drums. Forget it.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, and like I said, I do a lot of I'm a keyboard player as well, and I do a lot of writing, just mainly just for writing stuff. But man, I don't know if I could ever be out in the gig world playing keyboards. I took a couple years of theory and jazz improv and stuff like that. I'm sure that the fact that you play the piano, which I tell all my students and friends, young musicians, to say, are you a drummer? Yeah. Take piano lessons, harmony lesson, study harmony, substitution chords, starting with easy thing, just get an idea, develop your ears, your harmonic and melodic concept, know, and it will make you a better drummer. Believe it or not, it will make you a better drummer. Yeah, it is a percussion instrument, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The piano, it's a percussion instrument as well, of course.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's cool. I'm trying to see if there's other questions here. Let's see. Now, you already said that your family was heavily into entertainment business, because that was one of the questions that someone had sent me. I think that's pretty much all the questions that I got here, other than your influences.
We never went over to the question of. There's nothing at the beginning. Wait, the one-handed roll.
Yes, people were asking me about how do you do that, and that's all from the push and pull method, right?
Push and pull method. But again, there's many ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's the push and pull way that, right? And there's the baller with the snap, which is this. Then you can use this one. That's more like cheating. But again, push and pull. Mm-hmm. And now I am working, it's been already 2 years on, because I believe, my honest opinion, the understanding of playing drums really is no other than getting a good understanding of what the natural rebounds of the stick, natural rebounds is. And try to control every strokes.
Yeah, that was a question that a lot of people have been asking me about you, and like I said, I'll share a lot of your. Let me go to the. I share a lot of your videos on Facebook, and I think some of the people I work with have sent you friend requests. I think there was a few people, but yeah, I love the way that you're setting a great example for the drumming community, and just a lot of cool things going on because of it.
So it's about dedication. It's about, I was talking about the rebounds, stroke control. If we can control 2 notes, you can control 3, you can control 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Actually, we can close at the end and play the 9 stroke roll.
Oh yeah.
Which can be this. You can get that kind of rebounds and work on that. I started with 3, with 4, with 5, with 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all I can do. But at least, this is stuff that now people say, when you going to use that? You can use that. You can definitely use that even when you play pop.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, that's good. Cool.
So you can use it on the side snare. You can use it on little tambourine to the right. You can still do it. What it takes, a lot of practice, and remember to always, to the people I'm talking to, the people who are listening right now, take this as an advice from an older man. Just try to be relaxed. The more relaxed you are, the better it is. You're going to get a better sound. You play more precise. Technique, another thing that a lot of people are confused about this. Technique is not playing fast. Technique is about playing precise.
Right.
It's not like playing fast. Anyone can play fast. If I ask my mother, Mom, please practice single stroke roll for 2 years at this tempo. 2 years later, my mother, she's going to be better than Buddy Rich.
Oh wow. There you go.
On that single stroke roll. But technique means playing precise and correctly.
Absolutely.
And that kind of thing.
Well, that sounds awesome. Yeah, and as we get near the end here, I'm gonna play one more clip, Pepe, if it's okay with you. And these are just some examples I pulled off your YouTube channel. A lot of the best ones that I've liked that I've actually shared with other people, and I think this one was, you were using mallets, but to make it a little bit shorter, I think you went to sticks. Anyway, here's a clip of Peppe Merolla, y'all. Here we go. And explain how you're doing those. You're doing a single with your right hand. Well, you're doing singles with your bass drum and your top, your hands, like ticka 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 ticka.
It's just the way I practice that. It's like when I practice single stroke roll, and then.
Okay. Yeah.
you know. So I will swap my left hand with my right foot and vice versa. You can
Right.
do right bass,
Okay.
and then you can do left, right, left and bass. Then you can alternate, and then using double pedal, if you have a double pedal,
Yeah.
using double. You know, that's all I do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, we should get a new nickname for you, Thunder Hands.
No, please.
No, it's all
Please. I'm trying to get better every day. And every time I look at what I do, I feel like I got to fix this. I got to get
Yeah.
better. This is not right. This is wrong. Pepe.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. There's a saying that I keep on hearing, and this goes for everybody. Let's see, a good drummer or a good instrumentalist is always learning. What I tell my students, what I tell my students is there's never a cap. If you get to this level, there's always more. You know, like I'm working, like the book you referred me to from Horacio Hernandez. I'm still trying to learn that 3/4 clave beat with my left foot, and
Yeah.
and you're doing that really well. You've been studying that book for a while, and I think you and Horacio know each other really well too.
Yes. Ignacio, first of all, is one of my mentors. I love him. You know, great drummer. I just love his drumming. And the guy plays music. The guy is a musician when he plays drums, you know. Horacio Negro can really play. He's behind off. You
Yeah.
know? And we, besides the fact that we're great friends, you know, we're good friends, and you know, but I love his playing, and check him out. Check out his book, 2-3 Clave. And what's the name of the book? In Clave, right? 2-3 Clave? Horacio Negro?
Let's see here. It's
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, but man, there's this book you refer me to is just it's just crazy, and in a good way, you know.
What I did with this book, I did it the way I'm starting it. I didn't finish it yet because another thing, Paul. Did you ever start four-way coordination?
I did some four-way. I did not that one, no, but I do four-way independence through the syncopation book, but not on that book.
No, the four-way coordination, the book, the drum book.
No, I not yet. That's
So anyway, I gotta send you a copy. It's a classic book, four-way coordination, and it's taken me all my life to get to the page 10.
mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some specific books, especially the classic and historical history drum book, that to me they go into the section of classic history drum book, like C control, accented rebounds, syncopation, all that stuff.
right.
And Horacio, what I did when I started it, just like four-way coordination, 2 pages at a time. I mean, first of all, Horacio comes from a country that he was born. When he came up from his mother's belly, he came up with the clave. Wah, 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 wah. All right? So
Right, yeah, absolutely.
He grew up with that kind of stuff. And it's taking him all his life to get to where he is. I'm telling to anyone who's approaching the drums, is starting to practice drums, or have been playing the drums for a long time, but didn't really get to the point that they want to get, don't worry, be happy. Everything is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Take your time. No one is chasing you.
Absolutely. Hey, can I do a drum beat to that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
No, I better not.
This is nice. Play something.
I'm gonna leave everything to you.
Play something.
All right, let me see if I can make this work here. Let's see here. Unmute.
Wonderful. It sounded great.
That was
that was tone, the way you did it. Wonderful.
That was some Steve Gadd influence, but I always have fun and I learn a lot from what he's doing here, what Steve Gadd does. But I love a lot of the. Yeah, Steve Gadd has been a major influence. Yeah, but I have fun doing
I don't know if you can hear this. I'm gonna share this with you about Steve Gadd.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I need to get well. If I don't get my stool, there's no way I can do it. I mean, it could be. I know you might be. Is that distorted? Can you hear okay?
Yes, I can.
You remember this one, right?
50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, right?
And then we have this.
Amen to that. That's awesome. So,
but anyway, that was some of the stuff that I love about Gadd.
Yeah.
Stuff that I love about Steve Gadd. Steve Gadd. I thought he was one of the first guys that I was like, whoa.
Well, he's still a major influence to me too, and Pepe, you as well. You know, I learn by watching your videos too. I mean, there's some things that you're doing that I'm like, whoa, I need to try that. You know, but
I'm glad that was. You know, I'm glad to be that I was able to inspire anybody out there. But guess what? Again, I get inspired from you. I get inspired from everyone, even my young students. Sometimes young students, they have great ideas, but they don't have the technical abilities to execute that idea. So, and I say, thank you. Why?
Yeah.
And I say, well, because I just learned something from you.
Absolutely.
And it's like, what did you learn? I'll tell you one day.
Right. Well, I tell you what, and for any instrumentalist out there, whether you play guitar, violin, drums, piano, trumpet, brass, just learn from your mentors. You know, get out there, get to playing. You know, get used to your instrument,
and go see them.
Instrument. Yes, and go see them.
And go see them. Pay
Absolutely.
the ticket. Go see. Support live music.
Support live music.
You know, one thing is listening to a record. Like you listen to a record, now you try to imagine what kind of sticking or how is he getting that type of sound out of the drums.
Right.
But if you go see them and you watch, like I watched Jimmy Cole.
Yeah.
Like I watched Steve Gadd. Like I watched, you know, Louis Hayes. Like I watched, you know, that's how you're really getting an understanding of
Absolutely.
how he got that type of sound and what it takes and how he does it.
Right.
How is he going to do that? That's how he does that. Support
Absolutely.
live music because we're not going to be around forever.
No.
So So we try to document everything we do for the love, not for the because you want to be famous, but for the love of the music
Correct.
and to spread the word, you know, and help the youngest upcoming musicians.
Absolutely.
So it's not about being famous. It's not about lights, you know, playing the drums while you're smoking a cigarette and do whatever, or eating a sandwich and just because you want to get 1 million views. It's not about that. It's about the music. It's about the music. That's the reason why I and everybody who are, you know, serious, we need to document that everything we do and document the things that it seems like that people maybe skip it now, they move on. But the day will come that the serious students, serious people will stop on your videos and say, let me see this. This is something that it looks easy. I skipped a long time ago, but then you go deep, you realize that that's very helpful.
Right. Well,
You know?
that's
Like
a great
sometimes
thing.
we hear a groove. We hear a groove sometimes, and we feel like, man, this guy is playing so, you know. And then you realize, wait a minute, wait. That's not that easy. Let me see how he's gonna, you know, how's he doing? All the ghost note, all that stuff. It takes a lot of work, really.
Right. It does.
You know, that's
and everything's a learning process, and I'm glad we were able to do this podcast today. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, Pepe. But I want to go ahead and post your website real quick, just so that people know how to find you. Let me go ahead and get rid of that so they'll see your website. So PeppeMerolla.com, ladies and gentlemen. And Pepe, on your website, is there ways that people can find out where you're playing? Do you have a schedule?
Oh yeah, there's my schedule. There's everything in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Well, very good. Well, guys, thank you for viewing the tonight. And Pepe, any last thoughts?
No, I just wanted to thank you for having me, and give my best to the wife.
Yes,
and,
of course.
Once again, I love what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
We love what you're doing.
Much love to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much love to you and your family, and anybody who's watching right now. Guys, keep drumming. Music is life. Love you all.
Thank you, Pepe. We'll see you next time, okay?